Hello guys, my name is Don Wilson Odhiambo. I'm a fine art photographer and a documentary photographer, born and raised in Kibera slums, one of the biggest slums actually now in Africa. Um, I count myself lucky because I was born in this slum. I have every opportunity, I have everything in front of me. And it has kind of taught me a lot. I've actually escaped from a lot of things that many people have not escaped from as a photographer and as a young youth who is growing up here. There's a lot of things here that are happening here. We have drug abuse, we have teenage pregnancies, we have um, family breakups, school dropouts, women and young girls and young boys running into early marriages, no jobs and such kind of stuff, which are mostly or most of these issues end up leading us into mental issues and psychological effects, if I can say. And just why I'm counting myself lucky is because um, one of the careers that I chose, which is photography, that I started like 10 years ago, 10, 13 years ago, you know, is actually helping me know who I really am, because I count myself as I was born in the best places because I have everything in front of me as a photographer. I can create anything I want as a photographer. I can create anything I want as a fine art photographer. I can walk out there. I count myself lucky because everyone in the community, almost everyone, uh, 98% or 88% of the community knows me. I count myself lucky for that. So that means I have this access to each and every place that I want. I have access to each and every home that I want. I can't just get into anyone's homes like that. I have to be like given the permission first. But I still count myself lucky because I'm able to speak to these guys and tell them what I want to do. If I have any project, I'm able to handle it well after talking to them. I don't have to pay anything at times. Sometimes I do my projects for free. And that's luck for me. At times it becomes a problem as a self taught photographer when you have an assignment and you now have to move out of your home, you know, and no one has actually employed you because I'm not working for any agency apart from Getty Images, which sometimes how it works with payments. I can't say that. You guys will have to figure that out. And sometimes you find that your clients are sending you out for assignments and you have to go for these assignments. And let me say you're down on your payments, you're down on your transport, you're down on your security. You need to take care of yourself. And so you realize that surviving as one of the photographers who is actually not employed or who is actually not working for any agency is really a challenge. Apart from that, in my home, which is Kibera, it's also a big time competition, which I'm really happy for that because competitions do make us move. They do make us think outside the box. So we are actually a lot of photographers in my home, and that actually has made me like take a big step forward, you know, knowing what I want, knowing that each day this photography is what feeds me. So I have to move, I have to like get out of my bed very early, I have to sleep very late, sleep for around 2 hours or 3 hours, or even 4 hours if okay, and go for what I want because we all hate challenges, we all hate competitors. I can't say that I love my competitors. I can't say that I hate them at the same time. We all meet on the ground. We all meet when you're working out there. But then we realize that we all have this one big hole to fill. You know, we all want to be seen. We all want to see our work out there. We all want to build these names and such kind of stuff. So we also have a lot of international photographers coming on ground, which we need to prove wrong. Like we always need to prove them wrong. We always need to tell them that apart from you guys being having all these opportunities, we are also trying to push as hard as we can. So we've had a lot of challenges with the international photographers coming on ground and then getting the best from us and then going out with them and just being published and winning these awards with some of the things that we ourselves could have done. So I think that's one of the most reasons why I decided to be who I am today, to be a photographer. I didn't go to school. I only went for like papers. I say I didn't go to school to study photography. By the time I was going to school to do my journalism. I was already a pro. I was already like I knew I had already known who I was. Like I was like the Don that I am now, the photographer that I believe that I am now, the professional photographer. So I went on to school for my pro papers. And so after picking those papers, I believed that I was ready for the world because you can't be out here without papers. You can't be out here without knowledge. You can't do photography without knowledge. You know, you can have your gears, you can have a lot of a very expensive equipment, but my friend, if you don't know how to write proposals, if you don't know how to speak English, if you don't know how to speak to people, then it becomes a very, very big disadvantage. You can have everything you have on the ground, you can have every equipment, but if you lack communication, if you lack knowledge, if you lack skills, uh, then you can never work with anyone, or you can never work for anyone. So that's another reason why I had to go out there and do my journalism. You know, so after that, I was ready to face the world. I was like ready to send myself to the wall, like through the walls, I say, because I wanted the best for myself. You know, I don't really call myself an award-winning photographer. I have a couple of things that I've gotten, which are awards. I say, I don't call myself an award-winning photographer because I'm still not where I want to be in life or as a photographer. But I believe that I'll be there sometime soon. So it's really hard. It's really hard actually to be a self-taught photographer and a freelance photographer who is trying to survive by himself or by herself, you know, in one of the most, you know, um, untrusted environments in the world. Like, we live in one of the most untrusted environments in the world, where if you tell someone that I come from Kibera, they're like, what? You come from Kibera? How is Kibera? How is Kibera like? How do people there take you? How do people socialize with each other? Are people clean? Do people eat? What kind of water do people drink? Like, what kind of food do people eat? Like, are people going to school? Like, what's the school system there? How is it like? So you find out that each and every time you have all these big time challenges that you really need to work on, and to make sure that people really trust your home and really trust what you do. Because, example, if now I get like a big gig assignment, and I'm actually called in person to attend and see my clients, and I tell them that I'm coming from Kibera, and I tell you, if we go there, two of us, me and another photographer or another journalist, let me say I'm a local photographer in Kibera and this guy comes from Germany or anything, they'll pick the guy from Germany and leave me because of where I come from. They'll pick the guy from Germany because he's more of an international photographer, but I'm just a local photographer, forgetting that this guy doesn't know the interior of my home that well, and I know my home the best. So sometimes it becomes a challenge when you tell a client that you're coming from Kibera. When you tell a client that you're coming from a home that is so populated and you're trying to make the best out of it. When you tell your client that you come from a home that is full of competition and that everyone is trying to do their best, and then they end up choosing another person. That's the thing about being a freelance photographer, a self-taught photographer. Like, you have to depend on yourself. You have to put yourself first. You have to trust yourself. You have to find each and every ways of convincing your clients and telling them who you really are and what you really do. Another thing is building your portfolio. Like, I've taught myself how to build my portfolio. I've taught myself how to edit my pictures. I've taught myself how to be patient. Like, I have to be patient because I know my speciality. I know where I'm special in. I know what I'm special in. I know what I can do best, what another person can't do. So you have to trust yourself. You have to trust yourself in whatever you do as a freelance photographer and as someone who is actually not employed by any agency, or someone who is actually not having any clients coming on ground each and every time. You have to trust yourself. Another thing, you have to have something to do, apart from photography. Because right now you find that I'm more of a mental activist. I'm trying to create an NGO that is running, a youth NGO that is just focused on helping people mentally from the slums. The NGO itself is called Tame. You can check it out on my Instagram once you're done with this. So my next topic will be how to edit my pictures and how I connect with the social media, how I connect myself to social media, and how I sell myself on social media. Because actually, I don't trust websites, so I connect through my Instagram and Facebook. So, guys, thank you so much for that, and I hope you guys will have some good time listening to this. Thank you. Have a good time. Cheers. See you.